Welcome back everyone. So today I'm going to be going over questions that some of you have previously asked on different videos. If you want your question to be featured in a future video, then just comment below or on other ones. Now before we jump into the video, I'm just going to set the like count. So this week the goal is 17, so 17 thumbs up. If you can hit that button, then that would be great. So the first question is from RP, and this user has stated, can you advise if I have funded in this 20 to 21 tax year into one of my stocks and shares ISA account but don't fund anymore, can I still legally start funding other stocks and share accounts in this same year? So let's start from the beginning and first define what a tax year is. And so for the 2020 to 2021 tax year, that started on 6th of April 2020 and it's going to end on the 5th of April 2021. The tax year in the UK is always from April to April, and a quick Google search will tell you when the tax year starts and when it ends. So let's change the question slightly and let's first ask, can I open more than one ISA account? Now there's many different types of ISAs. You've got a cash ISA, stocks and shares ISA. So if you hold one of those, then of course that's perfectly fine. But let's just say you accidentally opened two stocks and share ISA accounts in the same tax year. And so most people are going to respond and say, just open one stocks and share ISA account within the given tax year. That is how the law is defined, but it's very easy to open more than one. So let's just say you open up a Vanguard account, and that's generally a stocks and shares ISA account, and then you open up a Trading 212 stocks and shares ISA account. In the case of Vanguard, you have to deposit an initial amount, and I believe it's around £500. And so when that deposit takes place, and then that money is converted into shares, your account is now in an open state, which just means it's actively funded. And so if you have this Vanguard account, you're funded at the £500, and then you open up the stocks and shares ISA account in Trading 212, and you also fund that account, then that is illegal. And so if you are in this situation, the best thing you can do is to just pay into one of those. So make the decision, and in my example it's Vanguard or Trading 212. Now if you funded a large amount of money and you are concerned, then you have a couple of options. You can talk to the broker to close out your stocks and shares ISA. Let's just say you decide to close out Vanguard. Then the broker will close out the account and there shouldn't be any issues from there. Now the alternative option here, if you have a low amount of money, you can just leave both accounts, but of course stop funding the one you no longer wish to fund. The reason why we have the law of one stocks and shares ISA is because we don't want people gaming the system, and by that I mean you have a 20k limit. So if you successfully open up two accounts, in theory you can send 20k to one stocks and shares ISA and then 20k to the other, and so you are not paying tax on the additional 20k, and that's why this is in law to only have one account. And so going back to the initial question, in this hypothetical example, this user has one stocks and shares ISA account funded. They've stopped funding the account. Can they then legally start funding into the other ISA account within the same tax year? Well, the legal answer here is simply no. In the event that, let's just say this takes place in May, then this person would have to wait almost a whole tax year just to start investing in the way that they please. In that situation, I would say if you've funded a significant amount in the first stocks and shares account, contact HMRC and resolve it that way. If it is a small amount, then to be fully honest with you, and none of this is actual legal advice, but if HMRC is not aware, and in the event that you're way under the threshold, it's probably safe just to fund into the second account, provided you stop funding immediately into the first account. But as I say, as a legal standpoint, it is illegal to fund the second account given that you've already funded the first one in the tax year. So for the majority of people out there, you want to avoid being in this grey situation. Just open one stocks and shares ISA account within a given tax year. The law is even more greyer when it comes to having a stocks and shares ISA that incorporates DRIP. So if you activate the dividend reinvestment plan, then technically you are not the person funding the account. So for instance, the account is self-funding from your initial investment. So for now at least, it appears to not be an issue. So let's just say tax year 2020 to 21, I'm funding my Vanguard account, I have the DRIP enabled, and then the following year I open up another account, I stop investing into the Vanguard, but I still have DRIP, so the dividends are still being reinvested. Provided I'm not funding the Vanguard account, but I still have DRIP, it appears to be okay in this situation. I know this has been long, but just a final point on the stocks and shares ISA account. Legally, we should just have one stocks and shares account, but you have different providers that provide you access to the ISA account. So when it comes to creating an account, let's just say one stocks and shares ISA account, account. It's just a checkbox and then you're free to progress and fund the account. And so realistically, these private companies that provide you with the ISA should be communicating to prevent the user from making such a mistake. That in itself would prevent having to have this message of just having one stocks and shares ISA and then have it such that you simply cannot open a second account accidentally. Now, I feel as though this shouldn't even be a technical issue because you have your national insurance number which you attach when creating the stocks and shares ISA account. So I'm not completely sure why these private companies don't have this extra mechanism, but when it comes to the stocks and shares ISAs, we are liable because we hit the tick box. Okay, so moving on to the next question. This is from user Chris Unknown. They state, I keep hearing apps like Trading212 are for new people interested in investing. So where do people go afterwards when they are no longer new? Can we get a video on this and the pros and cons comparison on high street banks versus these new apps? Okay, so taking the first question first. I haven't exactly heard that Trading212 is a platform for new people. I'll say that the platform is beginner friendly in that you can invest into different stocks. As people get more and more serious into trading, then maybe they switch to other platforms that give you additional features that allow you to make more money, but with that comes more risk. Now Trading212 has other options available. They've got the CFD trading, which I stay away from. It's just not my style of investment and the level of risk is just too high there. But generally speaking, for a novice trader that doesn't want to lose all their money, Trading212 is very beginner friendly, but even the advanced users out there can still use the platform and trade how they wish. There are some more traditional investment platforms out there and they've just been out there for a longer period. You've got the likes of Hargreaves Lansdowne. I haven't heard too much positivity with that specific platform, but generally speaking, these older platforms, they have more money that they are holding, and with that comes an extra level of safety. But as we are seeing with the likes of Trading212, there's a lot of your standard traders out there who are adding more and more money into their accounts. And so some of these newer platforms that are around 10 years or less, they are growing at an exponential rate as well. So when it comes to high street banks, it is possible to, let's say, go into your Halifax account and then invest with a stocks and shares ISA account. I've not actually done that, but from what I've read, it's generally limited. So it'll be an index fund or a mutual fund. The ability to invest in individual stocks is much less probable. And so for the standard banks, I don't really see a benefit in going down that avenue. In the early days, you'd have to pay around £10 every time. So for me, I've always used the newer apps out there. So it's more of a case of which platform do you like to use? Which one are you comfortable keeping your money held in cash and then converted into different shares? And it's a question of accessibility. So are you able to invest in a style that you like? If you want to pick individual stocks, are you able to do that? If you want to go down the route of leveraging, then you'll want an account that provides you with all those features. Okay, so final question, and it's from Marius Brander. So they state, why is it that every Vanguard S&P ETF on Trading212 has the IE termination? So you have the ticker symbol, the 3 to 5 characters, then the period, and then we're seeing this IE termination at the end. I cannot find any of the ETFs from Trading212 on Yahoo Finance. So on Trading212, we have this .ie extension at the end, and the .ie just represents that the stock was originally listed on the Irish Stock Exchange. So this additional information is just a way of defining where the stock lives. But the issue is when you have a given ticker symbol from one exchange, which is then moved onto a different exchange. And this is what's happened here. Given that the ticker symbol is now listed on the London Stock Exchange, it just so happens that Trading212 pulls their information and they're using the old reference of the .ie. But then on Yahoo Finance, they only have VUSA.L, and so it's an updated version that this ticker symbol now lives on the London Stock Exchange. So as a summary there, we have VUSA.ie on Trading212, which is exactly the same as VUSA.L on Yahoo Finance. Now this can happen from time to time, so generally Yahoo Finance has all the information of all the stocks that you wish. If one is not being represented there, then it's most likely under a different name. But equally on Trading212, you can scroll down within the ticker symbol view, go onto instrumental details, and then you can see where the stock is currently listed. So feel free to ask me any type of investment related questions. You can supply them in this video down below. I will periodically gather those questions and create a new video, but I always give an individual response. So with the questions that I went through in this video, I've attached my own response, but it's definitely useful to group all these questions and then broadcast them to everyone who's subscribed to my channel. And so if you are new, do hit that subscribe button. So thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you in the next one.